So hello and what's up everybody, welcome back to Screen Tacticals. Today in this video we are going to discuss about the static files. Now what are static files? Static files are the files which you don't want to change. Now what do you mean by don't want to change? Let's say in a particular website you have a particular CSS. You don't want to change that CSS, right? So you can put that in a static directory, right? Now let's say you have a JS file, you can put that in the static file. You will have some images which you don't want to change, right? That you can put in the static directory. So we're going to see how can we make our static directory. And if you are following this series, then let me tell you, as I have told you, we are not going to write a single line of CSS or JS for the front end part. Then I will be telling you in this video how and what we are going to do for that, right? So first, just I open, you can see my server at this point, and you can see my PowerShell window at this point, right? Now go back to the VS Code. Now you can see where our template directory is present. At that location, we are going to create a new folder, right? That is at this point. So I'm just going to create a new folder and naming it as static, right? Hit enter. Now inside the static directory, I'm going to create another folder and I'm naming it as, let's say, CSS, right? Now at the same point, I'm going to create another folder and naming it as JS. Now you don't have to worry, you don't have to write a single line of CSS and JS, as I've told you, because this is only used in the front end part, right? Not for the back end part. And we are learning Django, so we will be focusing on the back end only, right? Now inside the CSS, I'm going to create another folder and I'm naming it as images, let's say, right? Hit enter. Now I'll just put this inside the CSS, right? Drag this and drop this at this point, right? Okay. Now in the CSS folder, I'm going to create a new file naming it as index.css, right? You can see this thing. I'll put this in the CSS folder, not inside the image folder. Okay, right? Now what I'm going to do is in the JS folder, I'm going to create a new file and naming it as let's say profile.js. I will be telling you what I'm doing, right? And another, let's say messagebox.js. So here we will be handling, you can say, the click events, but that's for the front end part, right? You don't have to worry about that, right? Now we have to configure our static, you can see, settings in the settings.py. So open the settings.py file, right? Just go to the end, and at this point, right here, you can see the static URL. Just after that, we are going to add this static dirs, and I'm just create a list, right? And inside this, I'm going to write here os.path.join, right? And it will accept base dir, give a comma, and it will just accept the static directory name, right? And you can see we have to import the OS. We'll go to the top and right here import OS, just like that. Okay. Now after the static dirs, we have to create a static root. So I'm going to write here static root, just like this. And here I'm going to write here os.path.join. So I'm just defining the path of my static dir, but this is not the static dir, this is the static dir, and this is the static root. It is used for the development process, right? When we after creating, you can say, the project, we just run a command python manage.py collect static, which will just collect all the static files and will be saved in the, you can say, in another folder, which we are going to name as, right here base dir, give a comma, and we are going to name it as assets, right? Yes, right. Save this. Now after doing this other thing, just save this other thing, right? And close the settings.py file right now. Now go to the base.html file, and at the top, you can say, before this doc type, right here, load static, right? So this will static all this, you can say, static, you can say, all the files contained in the static directory, right? Now you can use your you can say link tag at this point. Right here link, and right here static, just like this. If you are using that extension, then it will be auto completed, right? Or you can just type this manually, right? So right here we have a CSS, and just give a slash, and right here index.css, just like this, right? And at the end, at this point right here, scripts, right here src equals to, this means we are going to define the source path, right? So I'm going to write here js slash, not js slash, it will be static now js slash I'm going to write here profile dot js, right? It will be profile dot js, and just I will replicate this, and at this point I will write here message box.js, this much of thing, right? And after doing this much of thing, I'm just going to, you can say, show you my GitHub, right, where I just contained my source code at this point. So I will provide you this link in the description box, right? So just open, you can say the static dirs, right? And here you're going to find this CSS. Click on this index.css. Just click on this raw. Beautify now if you want to beautify it, right? I have this extension, right? Control A, Control C. Now go to the VS Code, open your index.css file, paste everything at this point, save this material, close the index.css file, right? And now just go back, and then go back again, open up the JS folder, open up the profile.js raw, Control A, Control C, open up the profile.js, paste everything at this point, save this, close this one, right? Go back again, click on this, click on the message box.js, copy this much of thing, and go to the message box.js, paste it at this point, save this. Now just close this one, right? Now we need some images, so you can just get the images from the source code. Just download the source code and you're going to get the images. But I have the images with me on my directory, so I can just go and directly paste that, right? So just go to this, open the static, and inside this CSS, inside this images, I'm going to paste that, right? Just like this. So this is an image which I have, right? You can see this image. Now how do you know that the static, you can say, everything is working? So let me show you. Now if at this point, let's say I'm writing here, just creating a div tag, and inside this div tag I am having an img tag, and let's say I'm writing here static, it will be css, right? Right here slash it is images slash let's see the name, it is bg2, right? So I'm just renaming this as simply bg, right? Because we have only one background image, right? So bg dot web pack, right? Save this. Now if you go to the browser at this point and refresh it, and you're going to see the image at this point. You can see this image, right? So you can see the CSS is even loading. You can see the background has also changed, right? So the CSS is actually working, right? So in the next video we are going to create our home page, right? And so thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you next time in another video.